Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reagan May and today we are going to be doing a money update. It is the middle of my budget and the middle of my month, and I kind of wanted to sit down and do a money update, how I'm feeling about my money, how much I've spent, how much I've earned so far. Zoe Petrard, or I don't know how you say her name, but Zoe does these videos and I'm gonna link hers down below because that's totally where I got it from and I wanna give credit where credit is due. I feel like so much happens in finances and I put out, the monthly money reset or monthly reset where I reset my finances every single month, and I mentioned that I do bi-weekly budgeting, but I feel like sometimes we set goals and we set budgets and we don't come back and really think through what's going on in our finances. We don't let ourselves change our goals. We don't let ourselves realize how we're feeling about money. We're not honest with ourselves about money, and we're not honest about what we're spending. And so I feel like this video to me is me being honest with myself and keeping myself accountable. Also want to do it for y'all because watching those videos each and every month, it seems like I put it in the budget, I stick to my budget, that's it. And there's so much more to money than that. Also, I feel like there's a lot of changes throughout the month that I never feel like I can get out to y'all and update you guys with that change my financial kind of what's going on in my goals. If you're new here, my name is Reagan and I like to do videos about my finances and just learning how to be financially independent in your 20s, in your early 20s. I'm 21 years old and trying to figure it out. And it can be hard sometimes. It can be really fun sometimes and really hard sometimes. But the last few months have been more expensive months and our bills have quadrupled. This is actually only my 5th month of being completely on my own. Before I was in college, I was kind of tag teaming it with my parents, and now I'm married, I'm on my own, I have bills, and so it's a lot to get used to. And I just wanted to take you guys along for the ride, kind of trying to learn how to be financially minimal. Learning how to be financially minimal doesn't mean that you're always going to do it, and it doesn't mean that that's going to be set in stone from the second you decide it, because as you will see in this update, we do not do exactly what we plan to do, and plans come, plans go. So let's start out with kind of just setting up the circumstances a little bit. First of all, I just got a new job, which the pay is a little bit less than normal, and Aaron has had the same static job. So we have 2 incomes and we're making a little bit less than we were, but not too much less. But this month was the first month with this new income. And in the last 6 months, I went from being a college student and kind of getting the help from my parents. They helped me quite a bit in college, but we kind of like tried to tag team it, something like that. I went from that to being married and being a full-time student with no job. So we were only living off of Aaron's income to making my own income as well, and we combined those together. And then I switched jobs and now I'm making a little bit less, but we're still making double the income. So there has been so many changes. And on top of that, just trying to get used to being a married couple with your finances it always has its challenges, I would say. I don't feel like it has been challenging, but it has been something to get used to for sure. And I feel like if you don't stop for a minute and think like, how do I feel like I'm doing? How do I feel with my money? Then you're gonna get out of control and you're gonna look back and be like, wow, I was so anxious about this. This is such an important topic to discuss because there's the part of finances that you do with your head, that you do with your brain. This is the money, this is the numbers, this is what's coming in, and this is what's going out. And then there's the heart and the emotional aspect of finances that people don't really talk about. And it's there because if it wasn't, finances would be a whole lot easier. The way that you're spending and saving and how you're meeting your goals does affect your emotional, like where you're at and your mental headspace. And I just think money and finances are mental, spiritual, and emotional. I think that they're all 3. And if you leave a part of that out, you're not really taking into account all the aspects that go into finances. So that may sound weird. I don't even know if I'm making sense at all, but let's talk about how I feel. So first of all, lately, I think I've just been really anxious about my money. I feel like that hasn't really come across in my videos because I have been, setting all these goals. I've said that I've been meeting my goals, which I have been meeting them. I've been doing everything that I want to do. If you look at everything that's going on, it seems like I would feel great, but moving here has kind of made me anxious. And I think that it's just because I've also not felt well either. And there's always that aspect of my life that's like, what if I get sick again and I can't work? we can't even afford all of this. And right now we can afford it, but I always have that in the back of my mind. And because I was feeling a little sick the last month, I think that was in my mind more. Also, our finances have not been the same for 1 month since we've been married. And then also we've tripled our bills in the last month. So there's been so many changes, and I feel like I've been a little unsettled of like, I just feel like I don't have control sometimes. And that's the point, like you never have control over your finances for sure. So I'm not trying to like gain 100% control, but I think lately it's just been an uneasy feeling. I think that I feel like I've been failing this past month with financial minimalism. I really want to be intentional about the way that I spend, save, and earn my money and everything like that. We just spent a lot more than we have been lately, and I didn't stop when I was buying things and think like, does this add value to me? And so I feel like I've failed in that aspect. I think it all just goes back to all of the change. So on the other side, I also feel very grateful because I think that I have just seen the Lord provide, and he's provided in so many ways, like actually financially, and then helping us, you know, with opportunities that really help us financially as well. I see him as such a provider. And so I'm like tossing that up. Like some days I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Like I feel like we're doing pretty good for 21-year-olds. Like we're doing good in the sense of like, we're trying to be disciplined and we're trying to take our finances like seriously. In that sense, I feel like we're doing good. And then other days I'm like, we're doing terrible. I just like, I'm out of control. We spend too much money, blah, blah, blah. So it definitely has its good and bad days. And a lot of it does depend on my health, how I'm feeling. I've never had to fully provide for myself and someone else. And now that we're both providing, I think that it's a little more stressful for me. So maybe that's what's going on. That's just kind of how I've been feeling. And I just wanted to kind of chit chat about that for a minute. I wanted to come on here and be honest about my finances and honest about coming into adulthood. And I think coming into adulthood is hard because you're gonna have moments where you feel like this. You just get a little overwhelmed with it all. That's totally normal. And so I don't say this to be like, I'm freaking out. Like I'm not freaking out. I have moments where I feel anxious, and that's totally normal. It's totally fine, but I have to remind myself we're doing everything that we can. And I also just have to trust in the Lord and trust in Aaron and myself and kind of all of those things, and we'll be fine. Like it'll work out. And money is not everything. You can try to be financially stable all you want, but you can't control all the different variables in life. So you can just do the best you can do with what you have right now, and you can pray. And that's kind of like how I get out of those moments. And I'm like, you know what? We're doing what we can do, and I'm proud of us for doing that. So that's kind of where I'm at with all of that. Let's go ahead and talk about my goals and how I'm doing on my goals this month. So the first two goals that I had was to save $350 for an emergency fund and save $300 for our trips coming up. And we actually hit both those goals. So that is such a good thing. I wanted to also mention that sometimes we feel like we're doing terrible, and then you actually look at the numbers and you're like, wait, it's not even that bad. So that's why this is so helpful too, because I can kind of see like, okay, like we're still meeting our goals. Like, yes, I may have spent a little more on coffee, but like we're meeting our goals. So it makes you feel like a little bit better, like you're doing something right. So we did meet both those goals, and I'm really excited about that. The next one is bi-weekly reset, which I have been so much better at staying on top of our finances this month. I think I've done something every single week, which has really helped me stay on top of it. I think the month prior, I just didn't stay on top of it at all. And I got to the end of the month and we just kind of overspent. And it was the first time that we really overspent like that. And I was just like, whoa, like, I don't want to do that. That's like nerve-wracking. And so I've been a lot better at staying on top of it. You know, our credit cards, our bi-weekly paychecks and everything like that. And then the other goal, LOL, this one's so bad, is a no spend month. So we have not done this at all, like literally not at all. So I wanted to buy nothing on Amazon, nothing for the house, no like extra drinks or anything, not eating out. Yeah, and we did none of that. We have surpassed our eating out budget by quite a bit. We have, like, that's where I'm not feeling good. I feel like I'm buying like a lot of extra stuff. Like I'm like, oh, I need this. And I just go on Amazon and buy it without thinking. And I did this no spend month because I wanted to break that habit because I could see that it was becoming a habit again. And it's too much of a habit already. So I'm gonna have to really try to do this again. I'm not giving up this month. We're gonna keep trying to do it, but I think I'm also gonna probably do it next month because we've totally flopped, and you will see when I talk about what we spent. I guess with that being said, we could just talk about what I spent and what I've made this month. So when I'm doing this, it is actually May 9th, and the way that my budgets run is mid-month to mid-month. So we're actually coming on the end, and we have made everything that we're gonna make this month. We budgeted to make $4,800, and we have made $4,792. So we're doing good on that front. Let me tell you, bills, guys, our bills are just crazy now. We've spent $2,533 on our bills, and that's including rent, but that is so much money. Like I cannot with all that money. That's just like gas, tithing, like our rent, electric, water, all that stuff. So that is where I think I get anxious too, because that's a lot of money. That's more than half of our income, I think, or right about at half of our income. And I'm just now getting used to that because this is our first month with rent, and I'm just not used to having that much money leave my bank account every single month. So the next place is in expenses. So this is stuff like groceries, eating out, miscellaneous, like anything that's not necessarily a bill. And this is where we went over. So we have budgeted for the whole month $675, and I have spent $725. So let's break that down. In groceries, I've spent $164, which that's not bad, honestly. Like the month is basically over for us. So that's really not bad at all. Eating out, I spent $130. So we did eat out a lot this month. What got me was I was working in town, and so like a couple of the days I forgot my lunch because I'm not used to grabbing a lunch, and that's what really got me. Also, Aaron has just been in an eating out mood, so we just went and did that. The next one is gas, and we have spent $257 on gas, which that one you just can't help. You gotta pay for gas. It's like almost $3.30 where I live, which is expensive as all get out, and it's just a lot, so that you can't really do anything. We spent $137 on date night, but that is actually because a concert came up and I really wanted to go, and honestly it was so worth it, so I would totally do that again. We went to see Kane and it was so good. I loved it. And then miscellaneous, we spent $36, and that's probably all in coffee, so gotta love that. For savings, we have saved $650, so that is where we just hit our savings goals. We also saved for our vaults a little bit here and there, but those are a little harder to calculate each and every single month because money's going in and money's going out. We did spend a lot from our vaults this month, and a lot of them were hitting zero, and that's when I was kind of like, okay, like we need to reel it back in. We're going a little bit too much. That is what I've spent this month. This video was like super simple. I honestly just wanted to have a real chat about finances and what's been going on with our finances, because it's very easy to see like the tiniest snippet of it, when in reality, coming into adulthood, coming into your finances can be a difficult thing. Having to pay bills is it stabs you in the heart sometimes, but that's really how finances have been going for us. Let me know if you liked this video, comment down below, and give it a thumbs up so that I know to do these, because I really like the idea, but I never know what y'all are feeling. So thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all later.